ሰላም እንዴት ናችሁ? ደህና ናችሁ? ዛሬ ማስረዳችሁ ስለ ቴንስ ነው። ግን ከመጀመሪያ በፊት ፕሊዝ ሰብስክራይብ to our channel። So እንዳልኳችሁ ቴንስ ነው ማስረዳችሁ። የመጀመሪያው present simple ነው። We use present simple when something is generally or always true። So ማንኛውም ጊዜ አንድ ነገር ሁሌ ትክክል ከሆነ ልክ ከሆነ present simple ነው የምንጠቀመው እና በኤግዛምፕል ስናይ people need food። So ሁሉም ሰው ምግብ ያስፈልገዋል። 2 and 2 make 4 ሁለትና ሁለት ሲደመር አራት ይሰጣል። So this is always true ማለት ነው። 2 we use it when we think something is more or less permanent። አንድ ነገር ቋሚ ከሆነ present simple ነው የምንጠቀመው። So where do you live? She works in a bank. I don't like mushrooms. The next is when we habits or things that we do regularly. We often use adverbs of frequency. In this case, often, always, sometimes. So, do you smoke? I play tennis every Tuesday. I don't travel very often. 4, we can use present simple for actions that are happening now. And the actions are short, that they are finished almost as soon as you've said the sentence. So, አንድ action ልክ ካልነው በኋላ ሚያልቅ ነገር ነው ማለት ነው። He takes the ball, he runs down the wing, and he scores. Future uses. We use present simple to talk about the future when we are discussing a timetable or fixed plan. So, school begins at 9 tomorrow. What time does the film start? The plane doesn't arrive at 7. It arrives at 7:30. ሁሉ ነገር fixed timetable አለው ማለት ነው። 6, we also use present simple after words like when, until, after. So, I will call you when I have time. I won't go out until it stops raining. Conditional use. We use present simple with first and zero conditional. If it rains, we won't come. If you heat water to 100 degrees, it boils. Next, present continuous mention. 1. First, we use present continuous for things that are happening at the moment of speaking. I'm working at the moment. Please call back as we are eating dinner now. Julie is sleeping. So, is happening at the moment of speaking. We can also use this tense for temporary situations. John's working in a bar until he finds a job in the field. So, he might not be working now. I'm reading a really great book. She's staying with her friend for a week. So when we compare this present simple, which is used for permanent situations that we feel will continue for a long time. We can use present continuous for new habits, for temporary or new habits. He's eating a lot these days. She's swimming every morning. You're smoking too much. We can also use present continuous for habits that are not regular, again, happen very often. So we use words like always, forever, or constantly. You're forever losing your keys. She's constantly missing the train. Lucy's always smiling. We can also use present continuous for definite future arrangements. So I'm meeting my father tomorrow. We're going to the beach at the weekend. I'm leaving at 3. So these are planned arrangements. ራሳችን ፕላን አድርገን ነው like እርግጠኛ ነኝ እንደሚፈጠር። Present perfect simple. Unfinished actions. We use this tense when we talk about unfinished actions or states or beings or habits that started in the past and continue to the present. So we use since and now, or since or for. I've known Karen since 1994. I've worked here for 6 months. Finished actions. Life experience. These are actions that have happened during a person's life. I have been to Tokyo. They have visited Paris 3 times. We have never seen that film. With an unfinished time word. I haven't seen her this month. She's drunk 3 cups of coffee today. I've already moved house twice this year. We cannot use present perfect with a finished time word. So I've seen him yesterday. This example is wrong. 4. A finished action with the result in the present. I've lost my keys. So the present effect would be so I can't get into my house. She's hurt her leg. This is a finished action, but the result now. So she can't play tennis today. They've missed the bus, so they will be late. 5. We can also use the present perfect to talk about something that happened recently, even if there's not a clear result in the present. The Queen has given a speech. I've just seen Lucy. The mayor has announced a new plan for the railways. Present perfect continuous. We use it for unfinished actions. To say how long for unfinished actions which started in the past and continue to the present. I've been living in London for 2 years. We've been temporary habits or situations. I've been going to the gym a lot recently. They've been living with his mother while they look for a house. Finished actions. Actions which have recently stopped and have a result, which we can often see, hear, or feel in the present. I'm so tired, I've been studying, it's been raining, so the pavement is wet. Past simple. We use past simple when we talk about the past and we don't have any special situation. So the first is finished action states or habits in the past. We use it with finished action states or habits in the past when we have a finished time word. These finished time words manato yesterday, last week at 2 o'clock in 2003. I went to the cinema yesterday. We spent a lot of time Japan in 2007. We use it with finished actions in the past when we know from general knowledge that the time period has finished. So Leonardo painted the Mona Lisa, the Vikings invaded the Vikings. We use it with finished actions in the past that we have introduced with another tense. I've hurt my leg, I fell off a ladder when I was painting my bedroom. 4. For stories or list of events. He went to a cafe, people were chatting and music was playing, he sat down and ordered a coffee. يقول أي سنة list of events actually. Unreal or imaginary things. We use the past simple to talk about things that are not real in the present or future. So expressing wish marker. If I won the lottery, I would buy a house. I wish I had more time. So when do we use past continuous, also known as past progressive? An action in the past which overlaps another action or time. So I was walking to the station when I met John. At 3 o'clock I was working. In the same way, we can use the present continuous for the background of a story. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, and in the cafes people were laughing and chatting. Amy sat down and took out her phone. So these are background of a story matter. Temporary habits or habits that happen more often than we expect in the past. He was always leaving the tap running. She was constantly singing. To emphasize that something lasted for a while. So we use words like all day, all evening, or for hours. I was working in the garden all day. So by using all day, ምንድነው ኤክስፕረስ ያደረገው ይሄ ነገር ለብዙ ሰዓት ተፈጥሯል። So I was working in the garden all day. He was reading all evening. We use past perfect simple with a finished action before a second point in the past. When we arrived, the film had started, which means first the film started, then we arrived. Okay. 2. Something that started in the past and continued up to another action or time in the past. So when he graduated, he had been in London for 6 years. On the 20th of July, I'd worked here for 3 months. 3. To talk about an unreal or imaginary thing in the past. If I had known you were ill, I would have visited you. She would have passed the exam if she had studied harder. When should we use past perfect continuous? 1. When something started in the past and continues up to another action or time in the past. She had been working at that company for a year when she met James. We'd been living in Berlin for 3 months when we had to leave. 2. To express something that finished just before another event in the past. The children had been playing and so the room was a mess. I'd been working before I saw you and that's why I was really tired. When should we use future simple? So we use it to express will. Simple with will to predict the future. The sun will rise at 7 a.m. I think the conservatives will win the next election. So will ይጠቅምን futureን predict ማድረግ እንችላለን። 2. Promise, request, refusal, offers. I'll help you with your homework. I won't go. So this is a refusal. I will help you with your homework. Request. 3. We use the simple future with will in the first conditional and in other sentences that have conditional feeling. If it doesn't rain, we'll go to the park. Let's arrive early. That will give us time to relax. Shall. Shall is used mainly in the forms shall I and shall we. Shall I open the window? Which means do you want me to open the window? Where shall we go tonight? What's your opinion, Monica? Be going to. We often use be going to talk about our future intentions and plans. A. We've run out of milk. B. I know. I'm going to buy some. 2. We also use be going to make a prediction about the future. So, example tonight, look at those boys playing football. they're going to break the window. The sky is getting darker and darker. It's going to rain. So these, by using be going to, future and predict بعد إن شاء الله. When should we use future continuous? We use future continuous to talk about an action in the future that overlaps another shorter action or time. I'll be waiting when you arrive. At 8 o'clock, I'll be eating dinner. 2. We can use the future continuous to talk about something that will happen if everything happens as we expect. This is called future as a matter of course. So the government will be making a statement later when will you be leaving? This is more correct than when will you leave, because it's definitely not a request for you to leave. We use future perfect simple 1 to say how long for an action that starts before and continues up to another action or time in the future. When we get married, I'll have known Robert for 4 years. At 4 o'clock, I'll have been in this office for 24 hours. 2. We use the future perfect with a future time word and often with by to talk about an action that will finish before a certain time in the future. By 10 o'clock, I will have finished my homework. Even ማለት ነው, I will finish my homework some time before 10, but we don't know exactly when. By the time I'm 60, I will have retired. So again, I will retire sometime before I'm 60. Maybe when I'm 59, but maybe when I'm 52. Again, like ትክክለኛው ጊዜው ሰዓቱ አናውቅም. When do we use future perfect continuous? 1. Just like with the other perfect continuous tense, we can use future perfect continuous to say how long for an action that continues up to another point in the future. In April, she will have been teaching for 12 years. By the time you arrive, I'll have been cooking for hours. 2. We can use the future perfect continuous like the other perfect continuous sentence to talk about something that finishes just before another time or action. So it's often used because there will be a result at the second point in the future. When I see you, I'll have been studying, so I'll be tired. So this is something that finishes just before another action. So I hope you guys learned a lot. Please stay tuned for the other videos that will be posted on our channel. Thank you. Ciao,